Hey, this is Neil for CarlightCleaner.com. Just keeping it real. Okay, so here is the hand foam sanding blocks that I ordered for myself. And of course, this is the 3-inch sanding block, hook and loop attachment for the wet dry sanding disc. So it's really neat because, it's just comforting to the hand to be able to work it like so instead of just doing it with I see some guys, they just do it like this. And maybe if you're young and your joints okay, that's fine. But boy, if you a little older and you got some arthritis going on, you don't want to be doing that. So this is great. Now, what's the business with these knives up here? Okay, so sometimes, you're going to get those funky headlights and, it's not going to be right round. Sometimes they'll dip into a teardrop. So how do you get down in that corner? So this is what I'm doing here. Now this is an old sanding block that I got here. It's still good and useful, but I decided since I got some new ones, I'll go ahead and do some cutting on this one. And I'm just basically just kind of improvising where I'm cutting it so that I got that teardrop shape. And so what I did with the first side I cut off, I used this knife here. The edges on this knife wasn't really ideal because that kind of a edging on the knife, when you're cutting into this foam, it just creates all kind of foam debris all over the place. So maybe a knife that's similar to this, it's not as jagged, it's more smooth, but it still cuts, and that way you get a cleaner cut through the foam. Now I've already done this side here. So, I'm gonna hang on to little pieces like this because, sometimes it helps. You get your sanding disc and you can and then you could either wrap this around like so, okay? Or you could trim it, just get a pair of scissors and just trim it. And that way, as you're going through the sanding grit size, you can just move to the next one and do the same thing, trim it. And then you can really get down those teardrop shape, headlights. So now the first time I did it, that's why these scissors here, the first time I did it, I used a scissor. It was kind of really, it did its job, but it probably would have been a lot smoother if I just used a cutting blade. So if I just used a cutting blade, sounded like the way the camera did that. Let's do that again, real time. Yeah, all right. I just had to do that. Anyway, so I can come to the back part here with this. Now, they say really you ought to cut away from yourself. So it's going to be kind of hard to do that. Yeah, I don't want to cut myself on camera here, right? I might get more views. Be a bad way to get views. So anyway, there we go. I'm cutting away from myself. Alrighty, so now I got that. Okay, so there you go. Of course, I love the idea of just kind of keeping this little handle here. And now you can customize your hook and loop wet dry disc. Or, you see, you can just fold it here. There you go. See, there you go. Just like so. Now you can get the teardrop in the headlight. Okay? So, it's just improvising. You can actually buy a sanding block, that kind of has this shape. You might see the photo of it over here that you can actually get off of my tools page. I looked around on Amazon. I was trying to find the shape that I needed to kind of get in that teardrop shape of the headlight. And I'm telling you, it was tough finding it. So if you was trying to find it on your own, boy, you're going to be looking for days. But I found it, and so, you see it listed there. But since I had this old sanding block that was just kind of around the house, I decided to just go ahead and improvise it and just kind of cut me a shape where I can go in that corner. That teardrop shape at the corner of the headlight. So, like as I've said in my videos, not all headlights are the same. You know, so you get some that's round oval, you get some that's funky shape, you know, teardrop in the corner. You get some that just kind of wraps around the hood of the car, you know, it's just crazy shaped headlights. So, you know, you have to just know how to prepare for those different scenarios. Otherwise, you know, you go out there thinking, you know, you're gonna do a headlight and all you need is this, and you're gonna run into a headlight that get that teardrop that goes right in that corner. You know, you're gonna be like, okay, what do I do with that? Okay. All right. So, and you know, too, when you're using something like this to go on a teardrop of the headlight, you see, it's very important that you do that because especially if you're using the vapor, you know, the polymer vapor, because what I found with the polymer vapor is if you do not get every inch of that square, that headlight, and especially the teardrop area where the headlight goes down that corner, if you don't get that and you use that vapor on the headlight, you know, for the most part, most of it's gonna look excellent. But that little teardrop part of the headlight that you couldn't get to, that's gonna show. Okay, all the grit size down to 3000, but I didn't do the bottom as much because the bottom looked good, right? So when I applied the polymer vapor, only the top part was nice looking, but I could tell the difference on the bottom. It wasn't so hot. So if you get a headlight, even though it looks mostly good and it's bad at the top, you go ahead and do the whole headlight. So you know, I experienced that doing a headlight restoration on a friend's car. So I had to kind of like do it by hand, you know, getting in that little corner. It was really tough. That's why I like the idea of just modifying this sanding block, so I don't have to be struggling with my hands, my joints. So, you know, if you're young, you ain't got arthritis in your fingers, you know, your joints okay, fine. But if you're older and you need to have comfort for your joints, this is what you need to do. All right, so that's it, guys. Just thought I'd touch on that. Modifying the sanding block. And if you love this video, you know, I mean, who else is going to be showing you this stuff, okay? Who else going to be showing you this stuff on YouTube? All right? So anyway, you know, give me some likes, subscribe, because I'm always going to be doing little tidbit stuff like this to help you, you know, deal with the challenges that you might face out there doing headlight restoration, okay? All righty. Catch you guys next video. Over and out.